What's up, guys? It's Rush with More Digital Media and Live Casting. We're out here at Aloft Hotel in Frisco, Texas, and we are at the Mayor Cheney's Veteran Social, and I'm here with Mark Wariner with KVGI Radio.
Correct.
Tell me, what does KVGI KVGI stand for?
It stands for Kilroy's Veterans General Issue.
Okay.
My business partner is a veteran in the business, a major in the service, now I think a lieutenant colonel. The interesting thing about KVGI, it's your regular call letters. In the south of media, you always started with a K in South Texas, a W up north, you know.
Yeah.
And I actually called to try to figure out how do I get initials to actually start transmitting. We ended up not doing that, going internet only, but we could not get any letters to roll off the tongue.
Yeah.
And you'll laugh about this, but really the lady was like an 80-year-old lady on the phone. She's like, Mr. Wariner, I don't have time for you to give me all that information.
Yeah.
I said, well, what letters are left? And the only thing that rolled off the tongue was KVGI. True story.
Yeah.
And then I called Major White, and that was it. He goes, oh, Kilroy's Veterans General Issue. He serves Army, so there you go.
There you go. Well, that sounds like that's a great story for your lettering. How long have you been in the radio business?
So I've been in it about 23 years,
okay.
But KVGI has been in existence almost 6.
Okay.
We just hit our 5th year milestone as an official business in broadcasting, and we do audio and video.
Okay.
We do have a studio and a couple of engineers, and just in the last year and a half got into doing video.
And your studio is located where?
It's in Frisco, Texas, right off of Gaylord Parkway and the Tollway.
Oh, I had
and Hall Office Park, if you know where that's at.
Yeah. Okay. So. Awesome, man. I had no idea there was a studio around here until you told me. You know, like
I've been in Frisco for the whole 6 years.
Yeah.
But we've been in Hall Park for about 3.5.
Yeah. Okay.
So, been a good place, good location.
And what do you like about what is it that drives you to media and broadcasting and video?
Well, that's good. That's a good question, Rush. The concept of having a conversation back in the 50s was on radio. Everybody went around and collaborated around a broadcasting, either a TV or a radio, and it was all about who's on the other side. They would listen to the story.
Yeah.
Our whole thing was, how can we go back to having that conversation and not to what everybody's moved into, which is 11-minute on, 4-minute commercials, trying to get to 60-second soundbite.
Yeah.
How could we have a lengthy discussion and talk about something that's interesting to the subject?
Right.
And
right.
That was really the concept, was how can we have a conversation?
That's pretty cool. It's like, how do you have a conversation, and what do you get out of having a conversation with somebody? What is something that you take away?
Empowerment.
Okay.
It inspires me. In some, it's you have one way of thinking in life, and other people have another way of thinking. And so sometimes when you hear the 2 and 2 together, then you get an inspiration, you get a motivation from hearing something different.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much outside the box, but just a little bit different thinking that you normally would think.
Gotcha.
And that brings a lot of intriguing to me. So sometimes I will hear that. And one thing in business that you've learned and I've learned is communication is key.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I learned that all the time, even in years of business. And so my staff gets confusion with me because they'll could you write that down?
Right.
Because I'll just go, blast at 90 miles an hour about the conversations that I heard, and they're like overload for them. But I communicate it very well to explain to them exactly where we're going, what we're trying to do, and once they get that, then everything goes smooth. It's just a matter of communicating.
Yeah. So what's your connection with the FVAC?
So I know all the veterans.
Okay. Okay.
I'm a yes man. I help everybody and anybody that I can, and for years I've been supporting veterans in the issues of employment and transitioning from military to civilian life. I've always been in some facets of that, from either helping them with their resumes or helping them with mock interviews to companies, or even vice versa, going to the companies and explaining them the value of why and you should hire veterans, and looking at the difference, going, well, they're not going to have the college degree, they're not going to have the years of schooling that you're looking for and or the corporate work.
Right.
But here's their military career. Here's their military education. Let me explain the difference.
Right.
And then we that's what we work with.
Okay. Okay.
That is just, for me, is enabled me to get connected. And so that has just triggered from knowing a few to knowing hundreds, and nationwide. But it's pretty much here in Collin County for the most part.
It's great to have somebody like you that gives that helps give people a platform to talk about what's important, in their lives, and give people a platform to talk about what they're passionate about too. Once you do that, it's like
it is. A short story. I had recently had a a sergeant major and a general, wanted to introduce me about a platform, and
Right.
we got up on stage, and because I was with a group of veterans, he seemed to think that I was a veteran myself. So
Yeah.
he introduced me as Mark Wariner, Army veteran, and I was like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah.
No. And so he was like, oh my God, I can't believe I said that on the air. Oh, I can't believe I did that. And so he thought, and it was like this 5-second pause, and I'm staring at him, he's staring at me, there's 150 people out in the front,
Yeah.
and he looks at me and he goes, I got it. You have served the branch. And I went, I did? And he goes, you did. You served patriotism. Thank you for your service.
There you
And
go.
really whacked the sweat off and really just turned the other way around. And it's like, okay, now to get back on business. You know?
Yeah.
And later on afterwards, he's like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, that's funny. That's so cool. I mean, I think you make some really long-lasting relationships when you're doing that. You know,
Yeah.
for sure. So what's next? What's the plans for your business for KVGI?
Well, we've always, for us, we do anything community service. We try to help in all facets, from community service, from their police, their fire, to our veterans. I'm trying to be the community service radio, community service broadcasting.
Right.
Doesn't seem to be anybody else doing that, and I see that it's a tool, and I see that between our chambers and our police and our fire and our visitors bureau, they all need an outlet.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to provide that voice. So 2019, we'll probably be moving into the community service product of that, which is something we've never done.
Yeah.
But we've done everything behind the scenes.
Yeah.
It's just now getting out in front. So that's probably that, and probably helping veterans more, doing more veteran shows and more broadcasting, more documentaries, whatever it is that we can do to help veterans.
Awesome. You know, when we talked off camera, I told you I was really interested in going to check out your place.
Absolutely.
And I look forward to that. Maybe we can schedule something next week.
I'd love to have you. I'd love to have you be there, man. You'll like it.
Hey, thank you so much for taking
Thank
the time
you.
to talk to us, man.